All right, y'all. So I just wrapped up WWE Crown Jewel 2023, and it was a pretty okay show. Walking into this show, they had a lot of good matches already set in place. I mean, you have Logan Paul, Rey Mysterio, John Cena, Solo Sakoa, the rematch of Io Sky and Bianca, Seth and Drew McIntyre, LA Knights getting a world title match. It's hard to mess this up. And I can't honestly say they messed up mostly anything on the show because nothing about it was bad. It was just largely okay. It's one of those shows you're going to come away from like, I could have skipped it. I'm not mad that I watched it, but I could have did without seeing it at the same time. Like, the show started off with a high, and then it slowly came down, and then it went back up, and then it just plateaued for like the rest of the show. I'll talk more about the show at large towards the end of this video, but with that being said, we had 8 matches on this card. Let's get into it. The kickoff show did bring us Sami Zayn versus JD McDonough, which was pretty okay. It's your typical filler match. It exists on the card just to have space happening on the kickoff show. Sami Zayn won the match with a haluva kick followed by a blue thunder bomb, which first time me seeing him finish off a match with a blue thunder bomb, I kind of rock with it. At the same time, I don't quite know how I feel about the haluva kick being a setup move, considering it's been his finisher for like ages now. It could just be me being alarmed because that's the first time I saw that, but Sami Zayn won. 2 3/4 out of 5 stars. I mean, I don't know what else you want me to tell you. It was all right. Sami Zayn and JD McDonough, if you give them time to cook, I'm sure they probably could have gave us a 4.5 star match, but ain't nobody about to do all that on a pre-show. I mean, come on. Onward with the main show. The show opened with the World Heavyweight Championship being on the line, Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Man, listen, they went into this match and they tore the house down. This match was bar none the best match on the entire show. I find it really funny that Seth Rollins, really since the summer, has been running with this story that he has a bad back. Yet this guy is out here dusting people with like goddamn springboard swantons, then following up with springboard moonsaults and doing power. Like, he's working like he's fine. I mean, I could see if your back is hurting from carrying Monday Night Raw, I could see that. But your back is not injured, bro. You all right. You must be getting into that Rey Mysterio stem cell research or something because I can't tell. Drew McIntyre, for a guy who was turning heel, kind of working a tweener, like, in this feud, came into this match working babyface. There was not a lot of heel heater spots from him. He is the bigger guy, so he was powering over Seth Rollins and working over the back when he had time to. But Seth Rollins was really cooking in this match. I mean, he was all over the place, jumping, doing falcon arrows, and like I said, doing springboards, suicide dives. Drew McIntyre was combating that with power moves and claymore kicks, and we had near falls. It was just a fun time, honestly. And Seth Rollins won the match with a curb stomp. I know there are a lot of fans out there disappointed with the outcome. They wanted to see Drew McIntyre win. I said it before, I'll say it again. I don't quite know who he's dropping the title to. It's just not now, and it's just not to Drew. Could it have been to Drew? Absolutely. I just don't think now is the time. Especially as Seth Rollins is putting his 2015 workhorse era boots back on. Keep that title on him. This match, real talk, 4.5 stars. It cooked. It was fire. It was a banger. This is the one match I would say go out of your way to see if you're going to watch Crown Jewel. I am almost certain there is going to be a rematch at Survivor Series, and if there is, that will cook too. Rhea Ripley, Raquel Gonzalez, Nia Jax, Zoe Starks, and Shayna Baszler fatal 5-way for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. I said going into this match, it's either going to be really good or just a car crash, and unfortunately, it was kind of a car crash. Not like a bad car crash, it wasn't horrible, but like there was not much construct to this match. It just felt like these 5 women were doing moves to each other, and that's it. There wasn't this urgency to get the champion out of the mix as there should be in multi-man, multi-woman matches. There wasn't this need to get the biggest woman in Nia Jax out of this ring like there should be in these multi-woman matches. It was just everyone get their spots in, and that's the gist of it. And those kind of matches work when it's like a very high-action, spotty type match, but when you have like 5 brute-built women, that kind of doesn't work. It can in some cases, like you might get a Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar type scenario, but that's few and far between, and this was not that. Best spot was Shayna Baszler doing a triple submission onto Zoe, Nia, and Raquel, but outside of that, this match was eh. The finish, though, of Rhea Ripley having Raquel on the middle rope with Riptide, hitting that onto Zoe Starks, who was being pinned, I guess pinning Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. It was a conundrum. But it was a cool conundrum. She pinned Shayna Baszler. I wasn't happy about that, but Rhea Ripley retained. I'm not shocked that she retained. I'm shocked that this match was as all over the place as it was. This match is 2.5 out of 5 stars. I expected way better. Not horrible, but like... John Cena versus Solo Sakoa is a match that I think most fans were expecting the second coming of John Cena versus Umaga. The smarter fans knew that was not going to be the case. It was going to be a latter half of John Cena's career safe worked match. And that's what it was. It was a safely worked John Cena match. If you have seen a John Cena match in the last 3 years, then I'm sure you can close your eyes and visualize a John Cena match in your head, and it would go exactly as you think it would. Given that Solo Sakoa is still in his rookie years, I mean, he's only 3 years in the business. John Cena was directing a lot of the match. Because of this, I feel like Solo Sakoa was greatly watered down from what he could be doing. I'm not saying Solo Sakoa is some revelation of a wrestler, but it just felt like big guy versus John Cena. John Cena gets the hot comeback, and he almost wins until the finish comes. Solo Sakoa hits this running Samoan spike, which I thought was dope. Then he hits it again, and then he hits it again. And I'm like, okay, he's going to go for the pin. 3 Samoan spikes to the neck of John Cena. I'll buy that as the finish. But then he grabs him, and he hits him again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. To a degree where he just overdoes it, and then he pins him, and it's like, okay. Like, if you were going to do the repeated spot, it should have been a match stoppage. If the match would have been stopped and John Cena was no longer able to compete and they were calling the match and they're trying to separate Solo Sakoa from John Cena and it's looking like he's a monster that can't be stopped, like that would have really sold Solo Sakoa as a big force to be reckoned with. And I get that was likely the idea they were going for with this finish. It just did not work. It just felt like you could have ended this match like 7 spikes ago. John Cena was already down. What are you doing? Solo came out with the victory, which was the right choice to make. Survivor Series is coming up. Rumble's around the corner. He should be looking strong. This match gets 2 3/4 out of 5 stars. I've become accustomed to the safe work John Cena style, so that didn't bother me all too much. It's just very decent and doesn't offer much of anything new to the table. Better than the Fatal 5-Way, but I don't think that's saying too much. Before we continue on with the rest review, I would just like to let you all know I will be doing I have to kind of mute the word because TikTok doesn't like the word apparently. But yes, I will be doing an away give for the Royal Rumble. I will be raffling off a free ticket to Royal Rumble 2024. The raffle will be happening the day of WWE Survivor Series, where I will select one random person and that person will be the recipient. They will win a free ticket to the Royal Rumble, complimentary of me. How do you enter in? I'm glad you asked. All you have to do is hover over to my Instagram page. It's at suplex with 2 X's, not 1. Make sure you follow me if you have not already. I post exclusive content to Instagram that doesn't go to TikTok or YouTube. I do daily stories. It's fun shit. Just follow me on Instagram, right? And then there's a button right here that says subscribe, right? By subscribing to my Instagram, you get access to a subscriber badge, exclusive content, even more exclusive content. Like my personal thoughts and reviews on like Raw, SmackDown, AEW, whatever you guys request. Early access to videos that I'll be posting on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. Previews of that, sometimes even the full videos. Then of course, your name gets entered in the raffle. I plan to do a raffle at least once a month, and this is going to be the first one that I'm doing. I want y'all to be a part of that, so join in. It is $4.99 a month. All that money goes right back into raffles and right back into content. If you don't want to do it for the raffle, do it for the content. And if you don't want to do it for the content, do it to support your boy. If you don't want to do it at all, that's cool too. I still love you. Just not as much anymore. I'm kidding. Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul for the United States Championship. I'm sure many of you have said this. I keep saying it. Logan Paul is pound for pound one of the best athletes in professional wrestling today. And going up against one of the greatest luchadors of all time, Rey Mysterio, we were destined to get something great. And it wasn't great, but it was good. I felt like in the beginning they were really cooking up something, they were going fast. They were going toe to toe with the lockups and, Logan Paul's doing a leapfrog. Rey Mysterio's like, Then he's dusting out dives and then it just slowed down at some point. Like, yeah, they were doing spots with the Ranas and the dives, but like the momentum just came down. And when that came down, the match just kind of started to level out. And it came back up towards the end, but it was a long period, a long stretch where it felt like the match was just kind of padding and trudging on. There was also like a few botches in this match. There was one spot where Rey Mysterio almost like straight up nerfed himself. Like he went for the springboard moonsault and Logan Paul had to catch him like 1 second off and Rey Mysterio would have like nosedive right into the ring and that would have been like probably lights out for him. So even Logan Paul is increasing his ring awareness because the fact that he was able to see Rey Mysterio like a few feet, like maybe a foot or two short, it was able to catch him is just like, wow. Like that's some veteran instinct right there. Kudos to that man. Rey Mysterio got him in position for the 619, but Logan Paul, I guess he had somebody on the outside part of Impulsive, went to hand him some brass knuckles. Santos Escobar stopped him, but then Santos like grabbed the brass knuckles and put it in the ring in position for Logan Paul to grab it. Logan Paul grabbed the brass knuckles, got hit with the 619, clanked Rey Mysterio in the head with the right hand punch, got the pin, and as your new United States champion, what are we doing tonight, boys? We sipping on that prime, baby. Logan Paul coming out the U.S. champion. I didn't think there was any other outcome, to be honest. The guy's been killing it in the ring for the past year, and Rey Mysterio honestly does not need it. So this was just destined to happen. With the performances he's been putting in, I would say he earned it, honestly. I'm sure he still has his haters out there. I'm not one of them. I would rate this match 3 3/4 out of 5 stars. I don't think it was quite 4 stars because that middle really just was not doing it. It wasn't spotty goodness like I thought it was going to be or I anticipated. But what was delivered was good overall. And I'm not going to detract away from that. And the right outcome came. So there you go. Now, the real question is, what is the move with Santos Escobar? Because you can't convince me that this man grabbed brass knuckles, knowing that Logan Paul was going to be in the ring, in prime position, possibly do grab the knuckles, and left it there. He did that shit on purpose. I think there is a heel turn imminently happening here. The real question is he going to like be fake about it? Like, oh no, I don't know what I was doing. I was leaving it there for you. I was da-da-da. Or is he going to be like in your face like, yeah, I did it, and what? Is he going to stay with the LWO and they're going to like team up to kick out Rey Mysterio? Or is he going to leave the LWO? Or are they going to kick him out? That's what I think the real question here. If we're heading towards Santos versus Rey, how do we go about that? That's the story to follow. A few other notes here before I continue. Byron Saxton took over ring announcing for the night. I thought he did a good job. He's not quite Samantha Irvin. He's not quite Alicia Taylor. But he brought his own tonality and delivery, and I thought he served his purpose. Honestly, would not mind seeing him try it at Survivor Series. I know it's not his position, but I think he has a future here if he wants to pursue it. Speaking of Survivor Series, they also confirmed it's going to be War Games! The War Games stipulation is returning for Survivor Series. I am excited to see that. We are 3 weeks away, so they don't have too much time to build up to it. However, we did have a showdown a few weeks ago with Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns, which leads me to believe we might be seeing Team Cody versus Team Roman. Maybe Roman, Solo, Jimmy, Dominic, and Finn Balor versus Cody, Jay, Sammy, Kevin Owens, and maybe Randy Orton or it's not going to be CM Punk. I can see that being a direction. Otherwise, I don't know what they're going to do. Raw versus SmackDown? Lame. This is the best way to go. Anyway, back to the card. Bianca Belair contested for Io Sky's WWE Women's Championship in what was a good match. Not quite their encounter from WWE Payback in Puerto Rico or anything like that, but the exchanges were largely good. There was just some plunder in the match that I felt like it was just kind of skipping beats and just ongoing, but it didn't take too much away from the match. Bayley came out because Bayley always comes out. Bianca was taking her out, and then out of nowhere, a woman dressed like Harley Quinn came up from behind and attacked her. Now, at first, I said Liv Morgan. I mean, she had the build, she had the blonde hair, she was dressed like Harley Quinn. I'm like, oh, Liv Morgan's back. Then she turned her head, and I'm like, wait a minute. Now, I wasn't too shocked because Twitter spoiled that like a fat minute ago for me. So I already had in my head that Kairi Sane could possibly return on the show. But it was still exciting to see her. Can't say the crowd was excited because they just sat on their hands. They didn't give a shit. I said it on stream. If she would have returned on SmackDown, Raw, NXT, it would have been a pop. Here, on this show, in that climate, it was never going to get the pop they thought it was going to get. I'm sorry. She helped assist in Io Sky retaining the title. Not only is Io Sky still reigning on top as champion, but she's reigning down on top with Stardom, baby! Charlotte Flair's theme song be talking about some bow down to the queen. Shut your dumb ass up. What you know about that motherfucking Queen's Quest, huh, bitch? What you know about Queen's Quest? I mean, for real, I don't think Kairi Hojo was ever a part of Queen's Quest, but you get the point. I'm excited to see these two teaming up. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fun. They gotta have a singles match, and that's gonna kick a lot of ass. Io Sky and Bianca Belair was 3.5 out of 5 stars. A good match at its core, just could have been better. Cody Rhodes versus Damian Priest was the co-main event, and it was the most Monday Night Raw main event you could possibly get. This match was very surface level. Cody Rhodes fighting from underneath. He has his comeback. Damian Priest is fighting back. The Judgment Day comes out to interfere. Does not really work. Jey Uso fights the Judgment Day off. Cody Rhodes hits the Cody Cutter, his triage of Crossroads, and gets the victory. Cody Rhodes got the W, and that was really it. I'd give the match 3 stars. Not good, not bad, just surface level. Acceptable on Raw, but pretty okay for pay-per-view quality. That's the best way to describe it. Roman Reigns versus LA Knight for the WWE Universal Championship was the highly anticipated main event. Did it deliver? Kinda. LA Knight has high charisma, very entertaining, but in the ring, he is a 90s wrestler, really. Like, he's really all character in the ring. There's nothing that's groundbreaking about watching him wrestle. Roman Reigns is a top-tier performer, and by performer, I mean, like, he is grade A when it comes to acting, visual storytelling, body language, it's all there. In the ring, he's good, sometimes even great. But it can be very contingent on the person he's wrestling to kind of carry the workload and, work with him to give him those spots and whatnot. And LA Knight's just not that guy. LA Knight is just not the guy to give Roman Reigns his best match. And Roman Reigns has accustomed the fans to his style of wrestling. It's a marathon type beat that really is reliant on the babyface to have those comebacks that Roman Reigns can bounce off of and make the person want to see them win. Solo tried to interfere. He did not, which, thank God. But Jimmy interfered. Outside interference, Roman Reigns hit the Superman punch and the spear, and the opponent kicks out. Roman Reigns tries again, and it works. Tale as old as time. We've seen the ending of a Roman Reigns match. Honestly and truly, at this point, when you watch Roman Reigns wrestle, you can get up into like the 20-minute mark and then turn the match off because you know how it's going to end. The match itself, 3 stars. It's fine. Very decent, pushing good at best. Roman Reigns retains, and I await to see what his next match is going to be, if there is a next match this year. Crown Jewel overall was a very decent show that honestly you can afford to skip. If for nothing, check out Seth Rollins versus Drew McIntyre. Otherwise, this show is a solid 6 out of 10. That's my review. Make sure you guys like, comment, and follow what you guys thought. Talk more soon.